President Trump has said his goal is to stop the flow of fentanyl and other dangerous opioids from coming across the border. So as we reported, Mexico's president has apparently said that they will immediately deploy 10,000 Mexican soldiers to their northern border. And it comes as Border Patrol reports more types of highly potent synthetic opioids being smuggled into the U.S., primarily through supply chains in Mexico and China. Correspondent Jorge Ventura joins us live. Jorge, what more is Mexico saying about this deal?
Well, Nichole, this morning, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum is now claiming victory, telling reporters that Mexico has secured a temporary pause, at least for a month, on tariffs, as her administration says they will step up those border security efforts and efforts to curb illegal drugs making it into the U.S. Sheinbaum telling reporters in Mexico City that President Trump directly asked her how much time does Mexico need to show results. She requested 1 month to implement those stronger measures. As part of that agreement, Mexico will deploy 10,000 additional officers to its northern border, enhancing its fentanyl enforcement program and stopping illegal immigration. In exchange, Trump agreed to assist Mexico in curbing the southbound flow of firearms, a growing concern for Mexican authorities. But now the attention shifts to Canada. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced a 25% tariff on U.S. goods, including energy exports. And he also is rejecting claims that Canada plays a major role in the fentanyl crisis, stating that less than 1% of fentanyl entering the U.S. originates from Canada. Trudeau also argues that the U.S.-Canada border is not a major security threat and calls for diplomatic talks rather than economic penalties. China has also taken a different approach following a formal complaint with the World Trade Organization. Chinese officials continue to insist that fentanyl is America's problem, denying any government role in supplying precursor chemicals to cartels. So as tensions continue to rise, President Trump remains firm that these tariffs, he's arguing, is to pressure these three countries to crack down on illegal immigration, but also fentanyl making it into the U.S. And also it's important to note, Nichole, that Mexico is still playing ball when it comes to those deportation efforts, saying they are accepting the non-Mexican deportees. But she's saying it's a major victory for her administration.
Right, and Jorge, how much fentanyl are we talking about?
So the numbers are truly staggering, and the majority of fentanyl and drugs coming from Mexico into the U.S. are actually still making it through legal ports of entry. The two major cartels operating in Mexico responsible for that fentanyl trafficking is the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and the Sinaloa Cartel. Here in the San Diego border, it's one of the major hubs for that drug trafficking. Once again, making it through legal ports of entry. Now, according to the DEA, since 2013, they have seen fentanyl overdoses in the U.S. rise dramatically. In 2023 alone, law enforcement officials say they seized 79 million fentanyl-laced pills, a number that highlights the scale of the crisis. The White House argues that previous administrations failed to leverage America's economic strength to curb drug smuggling, and these tariffs are considered a national security measure and are necessary to force action from the Mexican administration. The administration also points to the worsening public health crisis, with fentanyl overdoses now claiming more American lives per year than the entire Vietnam War. Now, the latest DEA assessment states that the Sinaloa and Jalisco New Generation cartels dominate fentanyl production, operating labs, while the majority of the drugs are actually manufactured using precursor chemicals sourced from China. The finished product is then smuggled across the border and distributed nationwide here in the U.S. The DEA warns that Mexican cartels have expanded their operations globally, operating in at least 47 countries, with Chinese suppliers and money laundering networks playing a critical role. For now, Mexico says they will step up their efforts to stop those drug smugglings. And just recently, Mexico did actually seize at least 18 kilos of fentanyl headed towards the U.S. We'll see in 1 month, Nichole, if President Trump feels that Mexico has stepped up their efforts enough to stop the drugs, but also illegal immigrants crossing into the U.S. Nichole.
All right, Jorge Ventura live for us. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.